I'm Jeff Farnari, strength and conditioning coach at Winona State University. We're here today with Maria Frickney, and she's going to talk about shoulder health. Shoulder health is obviously important for all athletic venues, but particularly the ones where the rotation is important, such as baseball, softball, tennis, volleyball, swimming, and such. She's going to go through a method that will help ensure that that thing stays stable. So we'll turn it over to Maria.
Okay, so a few things that we want to focus on just to make sure that the shoulder is staying in good shape is we want more pulls than pushes, preferably at least 2 pulls to every push. So whether that's a row or a pull down or a band pull apart compared to a push, so a push up, a landmine press, overhead press, that sort of thing. And then the other thing we want to make sure is that our scap is always freely moving. So when we're doing presses, when we're doing our pulls, our scap should always stretch through to the front and then squeeze all the way back. So a few things with all my overhead athletes, I make sure that they do push-ups. So when we're doing a push-up, we want to make sure that their scaps start and they're all the way apart. So we're pulling to the front of that rib cage and our hips are tucked underneath. So we never want their butt to be sticking out. We always want their hips to be tucked, and then their starting and their ending position are those scaps driven all the way apart. When they lower, their elbows should be at about 45 degrees, and then they're pressing all the way through at the top. So we don't want them to shorten that and finish early. We want to make sure they finish all the way through at the top. Another thing that we can do is bent over rows. So when we do bent over rows, we can support ourselves with a bench or anything like that. And then we want to be in an athletic stance, so our feet are apart, our back is flat. And same thing with the row, our elbow is going to be at about 45 degrees. We're thinking about that scap getting fully relaxed down and then squeezing all the way through at the top. Technically, your elbow doesn't need to go past your body. If it does, a lot of the time, we'll get some anterior dumping of that head of the shoulder, and that just is more stress than the athlete needs. So full range of motion with the scap, and that's causing the movement, not their arm. And then the last thing we want to focus on is that we have stability overhead before we do anything dynamic or explosive. So one thing that I like to start with is called the Z carry. And you can do this regular, like this, or bottoms up, so there's some added stability. And then we want our ribs down and our hips tucked underneath, our elbow directly in front of our shoulder, thinking about it driven through, and then they'll walk down and back. Making sure, though, that they're not leaning back and that their elbow isn't getting too high, too low, or too out to the side. So all of that is stable as they're walking through.